Hello, wonderful people. I'm in the middle of washing dishes, so I'm doing this for one of two reasons. And before you even ask, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm just going to have a text-to-speech read this to you because I tried like 2 or 3 times, and like every time I tried, I either stumbled upon, well, either time, because I was only 2 before. This is my 3rd time. But anyway, the first time I noticed a shit ton of mistakes, and then the second one I couldn't even get through it without being interrupted. So, I'm just gonna like select all, if I can. Oh, there's a comment on it? Oh, I can put one there. Okay. Is there a way I can select all? No, I guess I'll have to do that in writing mode. Okay. Alright. So, as you can see, this is chapter 1, Old War, Old Friends. So, all I'm going to have them read is the actual text, and then between every chapter, or when I get to the new chapter, I'll read the name to you. So that's the only interaction I'll have. That way, I can do it hands-free. So before you go saying I'm lazy, I refer you back to my point. This is my 3rd time, I'm tired, and honestly, I really don't want to try again, because I know that I'll make a million slip-ups too, because my tongue gets tied sometimes. So, problem solved. So don't at me or whatever. Oh, I forgot. I forgot that I set my speaker somewhere. Maybe I need to keep playing it so I can find it. I've been trying to find it because I lost it. I'll be back. I'm sure you can read the text as it goes, though, kind of like karaoke. Okay, 3 things actually now that I had to go all the way to the living room to find my ding ding speaker majigger. So, first things first, I noticed right after I described her, because that's been my description for years, that I basically combined 3 zodiac signs, that being Capricorn the goat, Leo the lion, and, Scorpio. And secondly, young whippersnapper? What the hell am I? Frickin' 80-year-old or some shit? And then, I have Princess of Darkness, fear me! I said it before, and I'll say it again. And I'll also do a slight commentary every once in a while. So here's my 2 cents. I like lisps, and I also like stuttering when someone's nervous, whether it's romantically, and sometimes I write slow burns, but I'm a tad impatient, but that never comes across, but I kind of want to get it over with so it can have the catalyst or whatever already. It's kind of complicated. Anyway.
Hear me, she said in a squeaky voice. I giggled. You're cute. And I booped her nose.
Boop.
This is coming from the same person who saw a black unicorn when they were young and were just like, pretty unicorn. You're not halfway of me, she said, seemingly shocked. My mom's scarier than you, I replied.
So, quick side note, it's supposed to be pronounced afraid. So just imagine that any R's or L's, which I had trouble with when I was actually a child, and the TH's, I don't remember what happened, and I think they kind of came across as just D or maybe an S sound, I don't know. But that's supposed to be, you're not afraid of me. You're not afraid of me? It's supposed to sound cute, like I said.
Played with each other for a while and then her dad showed up. She wasn't kidding when she said she was the Princess of Darkness.
Hang on a second!
Her father was the devil himself, Lucifer. Annabeth, what are you doing, playing with a princess of the enemy?
What?
He asked. He was wearing gold-plated armor, including a gold-plated wing cover, and had a very handsome face.
A little upset.
Daddy, I was just... Annabeth started. Silence,
Alright,
he
see
said.
you later.
He was saying silence because he could tell my mother was on her way. She showed up behind me, and even though I was looking at my mother, I'm pretty sure Annabeth nearly shit herself. Oh, hey, Lucy. Long time, no see, she said. I haven't seen you since you got married, he said. You know that awkward moment when you're with your mom in a grocery store and she sees an old high school friend and they decide to catch up right there in the aisle and you and the friend's kids are stuck awkwardly staring at each other. That's basically what this was. Anyway, back to the story. So after my mom and Lucifer were done catching up, they were laughing over stories of shenanigans they'd get into and Lucifer was the first to steer it back to the point of the matter. Listen, our families are enemies in this war. And I know it's not fair that our daughters can't be friends because of a war that they know nothing about and had nothing to do with, but them's the rules. Well, it was not.
Okay, two things. First of all, notice how casually Miss Cortana, the mother, refers to Lucifer. She just calls him by his nickname. And also, I like how mean he was. At first, I didn't really want him to be mean, but then I realized that he's the devil and he's not supposed to be nice. Hang on a second. What about your blanket? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I saw it fly off somewhere, didn't know where it went. I saw a little bit squirt out. And once again, it was trajectory, but it wasn't directed at you. Alright, well, next time. Don't even touch it, I know. I'll keep it from you. Alright. Speak of interruptions. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, he's not supposed to be nice because he's the devil, but he's also like very polite to Cortana because they're old friends or old exes, I guess. And I find it funny because there's two old friends, the mother and Lucifer, and the two kids. Anyway, oh yeah, I was also saying the one thing he does acknowledge is that the fairness of their daughters being friends or whatever. Like, he admits that it's not fair, but he admits that it's out of their hands. Leave me alone! Oh yeah, while we're at it, it accidentally restarted. So while we're at it, I also wanted to say that pretty unicorn is supposed to be said like, pretty unicorn! That's why it's in sticky caps.
For stories of shenanigans they'd get into and Lucifer was the first to steer it back to the point of the matter. Listen, our families are enemies in this war. And I know it's not fair that our daughters can't be friends because of a war that they know nothing about and had nothing to do with, but them's the rules. Well, it was nice seeing you again, Lucy. Mom ushered me away and Lucifer did that to Annabeth. We never saw each other again. Until 2015, that is. But that's a story for another chapter. And of course, if I'm giving you a specific year, or referencing a point in history, I'm talking about Earth. If it's not specific, then it's Astra.
Yes, and by a specific point in history, I mean like, you know, a specific time period, like the 1800s, 1900s, so on and so forth. Most of them are in the 2000s, though. 2010s. Maybe a little more recent. Anyway, so another side note, like I was saying, but that's a story for another chapter. Dun dun dun! That's what I was going for. Alright, next we have New School, New French, Chapter 2. So shall we select all? I think we shall. And shall we read aloud? I think we shall indeed.
Mentioned before that I met my sweetheart in high school and also...
Okay, hold up. How do you restart this? Because they didn't say so. Oh, well, maybe like earlier, you can just read along if you try, if you can.
But, well, that was two separate high schools. In fact, I went to 3. I broke my foot in the first high school and met Jacob in the second one. I also...
Jacob is the name of the love interest that she eventually, spoiler alert, ends up with. Might be a little bit of a spoiler alert. And secondly, the third school, nothing notable related to this story happened, so I just didn't mention it.
Ran into Annabeth, but I didn't remember who she was, and truth be told, I don't even remember her human name. So, for simplicity's sake, let's just call her Lilith. So I met Lilith in my history class, and she immediately picked up on who I was. She even said she saw my aura in my pixie. We told each other our secrets. And she told me that she was the daughter of Satan. And that she was a creepypasta fan. And that her grandma is a lesbian witch. Not sure if she's human or not. And Lilith told me that she had to fight for her place on the throne, rather than relying on the monarchy. And she she's in charge. I don't think he can die. He's pretty smart, at least strategic-wise. That's why he's so good at chess. My mom apparently dated him on Astra when she was going through a rebellious phase. But I don't think God has tried to kill him. They're mostly in a battle of wits, which is far more interesting. But I digress. Eventually, I had to move schools again and I couldn't find her on my last day. And once again, I never saw her again until almost over a decade later. When I got engaged. That's right, I'm engaged. Not now, but in the future. So the entire next chapter is just wishful thinking manifesting. Don't question the logic. Just planning ahead.
Not mad. I am a little, but I still love you. That was a bad, bad girl. Move, cat. Thank you. Remember, no laying on the laundry, Miss Warm Butt. Go on, go in the kitchen. Is it over with? I think it is. My ding-dang cat tried to get in the ding-dang food we just bought her. And I was just about to dump some water into the ding-dang bin that used to catch drips, but now I use it for extra water because we don't have a double-sided sink. We just have one side. Meow! I'm chilling. I don't care. Chapter 3, Little's POV begins. Select all. I think this is for, like, blind people, but like I said, I'm feeling a tad lazy, you know? So sue me.
Had a friend in high school and they eventually had to separate with no means to find each other again. Suddenly, she saw people you may know on Facebook. She saw Kendra McPherson. She hadn't aged a day since high school.
Holy crap, pause a minute. They actually said it right. They said it the traditional way. I'm so proud. Oh, by the way, McPherson is like a family name. I'm part Scottish, apparently. Shut up, phone. No one cares.
She saw that Kendra was engaged, but it didn't say to whom. But Lilith...
Okay, so this is fantasy with a bit of truth mixed in. So, like, my boyfriend isn't currently on Facebook, and honestly, I don't think he ever will be, because if you've ever seen The Waterboy, his father is essentially like the main character's mom. I think Bobby? Yeah, that's right, because his dad is Roberto, and little spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. The whole reason she was shielding him from everything was because she was afraid she'd lose him, because the father, the ever-loving jackass that he is, left her right after she got pregnant just about for another woman, a Hispanic woman, I think, and tried to change his name to Roberto. Fucking dick. Anywho.
Nulu. Kendra constantly talked about how much she liked him and was too shy to tell him. Lilith wondered if Kendra ever worked up the nerve to tell him. But now Lilith was certain that things did grow from there.
I want to clarify that she's not absolutely certain, but she is mostly certain. And when I said that the grandma is questionably... Yesterday I could say this word. Questionably human. That's all I was trying to say. Literally.
Saw the way he would deliberately make a special trip to the opposite end of the school just to talk to Kendra. And even then, he was practically attached to her hip. Lilith knew even back then who they were. Practically the entire school shipped them, unbeknownst to them. She remembered a story that Kendra told her about the day a lizard...
Okay, quick side note. That statement about everyone was whispering about them, chipping them, whatever, that's not meant to say that they were popular. By no means. That's just supposed to say that everyone kind of maybe gossiped about them, but they weren't exactly popular. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can gossip about someone without them being popular. In fact, it might drive their popularity down, especially depending on what kind of gossip/rumors are floating around.
Into their class. Now, keep in mind that this is Florida. A lizard broke into the class and every girl lost their minds. In fact, only 3 students weren't frightened. Kendra, Jacob, and a country girl, we'll call her Heather. Heather managed to catch the poor creature, who was scared half to death when Jacob was holding its tail, which was still swishing.
I almost wanted to say twitching, but it was more swishing because it was like going back and forth by a dog. But quick side note, again, Heather is the name of my country girl, and this was an intentional connection, like, oh, it's all connected kind of thing. I just wanted to use the name because I like it. And if you say, well, Heather's are mean, I've said that before, maybe not out loud or on camera or whatever, and I'll say it now, but again, don't hate the player. No, wait, don't hate the player, not the name. You know, just because you've had a lot of J dudes break your heart doesn't mean that every J dude is a heartbreaker. Okay, so ease up on them. Alright.
Kendra was confused at first as to why everyone was freaking out, then fascinated by the tale. Heather was instructed to release it in its natural habitat and Jacob was instructed to go wash his hands. Lilith remembered that this left an impression on Kendra. So here Lilith...
Okay, so that left an impression on Kendra. I wanted to make the joke, Kendra will remember that. I'm not even sure what's a reference to, but I've seen it a bunch, so I decided to just kind of shoehorn that in real quick.
Was over a decade later, and Kendra announced that she was having an engagement party within the next month. Lilith was part demon, and she knew that Kendra held a great power, but didn't quite understand exactly what she was. Lilith wondered if her friend would remember her.
Is that over with? Ah, thank God. We can move on. Oh, there's 7 parts. That's right, I only started reading chapter 7, and I don't want to read it now, but I'll at least take you to chapter 6. So this is chapter 4, The Heist. So, let's select all, and read.
Had a plan to meet up with her old friend. She would meet her at a grocery store. The only problem is that she didn't know which grocery store her friend was going to. Then she realized Lilith could simply just ask her.
Yeah, this is a trope that I really can't stand in any media, really. The friends or, you know, co-workers or whatever, associates, like the love interest mostly, you know, just happening to show up at the same place at the same time. Because that kind of seems stalkery to me. So, I figured to have this character be a bit smarter, because, you know, Lucifer's smart, and surely his daughter would have at least half of his brains. In fact, I kind of say that later, that one of her brothers has most of the brains, one of the brothers has most of the brawn, but she has a bit of both. So, I'm not sure. I think she has 50-50, and they have 50% of each, but they still have 100% of their own brain. That makes sense. Like, they have the same attributes, is what I want to say, I think. Anywho, let's get back to business.
That's what she did. She found out that she was going to Walmart in Dover. And she asked the time and day as well. Lilith knew that Walmart Supercenter in Dover was a big store and also knew that her friend Kendra had autism, so she knew that Kendra didn't...
Autism, you frickin' cretin. And also, Dover, Florida, not Dover, Britain. Just wanted to say that real quick. I mean, it might be obvious with the Walmart reference. Also, hashtag not sponsored. I just listed it because I like it, honestly. You know, the reason I keep switching back and forth between their names because I didn't want to say she knew that she did this, did that, blah, 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 blah. So I figured I'd clarify. Anyway.
Like big crowds. And she knew that if nothing much had changed, then Kendra's betrothed would be glued to her side. So Lilith was essentially trying to organize a heist. She didn't know whether Kendra would enter the pharmacy door or the grocery door. Then she realized that she could employ a hellhound. She knew her friend liked dogs. She didn't know if Kendra knew that if a dog was alone, its owner might need help, but she figured it was common knowledge. She had inherited as much of her father's intelligence as she did his physical strength. She could disguise a hellhound as a Labrador Retriever, which is a common assistance dog to have, then tell the dog to find Kendra, but there came another problem. The problem was that he needed a scent. But she figured that she could make a spell imagining her friend's face and produce a smell associated with her. The smell consisted of onions, sulfur and a flowery scent. That was a strange combination for a human, but she
Dun dun dun. That was a strange combination for a human. Mm-hmm. Human. Sure. Okay.
Fused it into a scarf, giving the dog her friend's scent.
Quick side note, I hate how every new chapter, it kind of skips the first word. Anywho, just a minor pet peeve.
So with her plan set, she set to Walmart and she put her plan into place.
Okay, I lied. Quick, real quick. With her plan set, she set to Walmart. It's funny how, like, a lot of words can have a double meaning. Like, she set out to Walmart, but she had her plan set. You know, like it was all done. It's kind of weird, isn't it? I think I'm bamboozling my kitty.
Predicted, the dog
Meow.
found Kendra. Honey,
Where
look,
are you?
she said, nudging her betrothed. Come, he asked, not understanding the significance. A dog on its lonesome. Its owner probably needs help. Taking its cue, the dog pointed with his paw and waited for Kendra. You and your hero complex, her betrothed said. Kendra followed the dog. Just try not to go too fast, dear, he said. Don't go too fast, wasn't in Kendra's vocabulary. She was queer, so she could walk fast when there was an urgent matter. Toxic, by Britney Spears was the speed she walked at. 143 SPM, to be precise.
She ripped open a bit of her. She was pulling at it, so I guess that's how she might have sliced it open. No, of course not. I mean, yeah, but afterwards I learned my lesson, put her in a noise bag, and feed kittens and cats and pigeons. I kind of just left it. Yes. We don't have duct tape. I haven't had it for quite some time. I have Nancy fur because I figured it wasn't essential.
It's not like gold tape, but it's really interesting, like thick squares of tape.
Okay.
It's like a packet of tape.
Alright. Like right smack dab in the middle.
How big is it?
It's big enough to stick my hand in.
Your hand?
My whole entire hand.
Well, never mind, that ain't gonna work.
Exactly. That's too big, I believe. I have packing tape. Will that work? Yeah? Okay. I don't know. Like I said, she must have been.
Why did you just leave it out?
I didn't mean to. I forgot.
How do you forget a 22-pound bag of cat food in the middle of your room?
I don't know. I guess outside on mine. Well, like I said, now I'm dealing.
Lay it down flat and tape it up.
Do what?
You have to lay it down flat and tape it up.
Of course. So now I have to deal with my mother, who's now learning about the incident with Pumpkin. I'll be back. A while later. Guess who's back? Back again. Ooh, a while later kind of rhymes with alligator. Oh, that's why they say see you later. So this is chapter 5, the reunion. And my dumb monkey brain for a minute thought that said Rhiannon because that's the name of my other character. But no, it says reunion. Yeah, dippy.
Practically ran right into Lilith when she pumped the brakes. Meaning that she literally made a screeching noise as she stopped.
Oh yes, also I unironically do this just because I love to, just for the love of it, you know? And if anyone wants to have a complaint, talk to my ass, because that's my department of complaints. Anywho.
Lilith loved this quirk about her friend. Nothing really had changed. She still looked as young as she did 10 years ago, and besides perhaps a little height difference, she was still a bit taller than Lilith was. Kendra said it was good genetics, but Lilith knew the truth.
Bum bum bum.
Hi, do you remember me? She asked. Perhaps. Where might we have met? She said. Zephyrhills High School, replied Lilith, now with her confidence wavering. Perhaps her friend really didn't remember her. Will you tell me your name? Asked Kendra. Lilith. She replied. Lilith. Lilith. Oh, yeah. You were the girl who knew what I was.
Yeah, that's supposed to be like, Lilith. Like, the reason she kind of wavers in her confidence is because, like, you know, she starts thinking that maybe she doesn't remember her, of course. But here's what you didn't consider, Lilith. Maybe you should have introduced yourself, not just say, hey, do you remember me? Because I personally, who's also the main character, shush! The main character is forgetful about names and terrible at pronouncing them if they're weird. So, that's just my cross to bear, I suppose.
Well, I
Oh,
heard that you're
oh.
engaged.
And that other Lilith. That's how it was supposed to sound, like she's trying to recollect. Anywho, back to the business.
Engaged, said Lilith. Yup. She giggled, showing her modest but still shiny ring. Lilith smiled as Kendra's fiancé appeared. Oh, speak of the handsome devil. She knew from that oath that her friend had spent some time up north. Hi, he said. His name is...
Yeah, again, a little bit of truth mixed in, and it's pronounced like, oh, like it's a real quick thing. Like, you shouldn't even pronounce the E, it's silent. Like the E in Knief, and the K, of course. In fact, there was a post a long time ago saying basically, like, what are some words that spellings don't match the abbreviation, but you just kept your mouth shut to keep peace? And some people said Knief, some people said Wednesday, some people said a bunch of other words that didn't really match up. But there were multiple, and some that I agreed with. So anyway, back to business. Take a shot every time I say that.
and he's shy. So good thing he's marrying a loud-mouthed, fiery woman, huh?
Guilty.
Said Kendra. No, don't say that about yourself. She said, reassuringly. Oh,
Oh yeah, that's another thing I had my debate with. You see, she is half demon, but she's questionably, again, that means possibly, quite possibly, half something else, whether it's human or not. So, essentially, what this moment is like, I was arguing on whether she should be nice or cordial or whatever. Then I figured maybe whatever half that raised her, aka her grandmother, whichever half that raised her could have taught her manners and respect and politeness and all that good stuff. So yeah, I decided to just go with it, because that was my initial instinct. Like I said, I had the trouble with Lucifer, and then I was like, well, his daughter might be a little different. Anyway.
it's fine. I make fun of myself to cope with my childhood trauma.
Guilty!
Trauma, said Kendra. Oh, okay, Lilith said. The hellhound barked at Lilith. Good boy, Grimfer, she said, petting him. Oh, that reminds me, why did your dog come fetch us? Asked Kendra. Oh, I was having a panic attack.
Why did your dog come fetch us? But I'm tiss. I literally think I'm so much funnier than I actually am. I literally think I'm just like a 5-star comedian when I'm barely 1 star. Maybe one half of a star. If I even get that much. Maybe a quarter if I'm lucky. Anywho.
He's supposed to ground me by touching my hand.
Oh, also, you should take a shot every time I interrupt and to give commentary.
Still in training. Oh, well, we didn't mean to disturb him, said Kendra, backing away. Oh, no, you're fine. Seeing you again made me forget why I was having a panic attack. Lilith said, smirking nervously.
This is kind of supposed to be giving that scene from Shrek 4, I believe, when, like, everyone's memories get erased but Shrek's, and he's meeting up with Donkey, and Donkey doesn't know who the hell he is, of course. And, like, he's trying to sing a song to, like, jog his memory, and then afterwards he just stands there awkwardly, like he just finished a presentation. But, I mean, I want to give a tad spoiler. Obviously, this is a lie. She was not having a panic attack. She was trying to willingly, I guess, find her friend. Pumpkin! What are you doing, you little...
Well, speaking of disturbing people, let's get out of the way, said Kendra. So they started to walk together in A-B formation.
Alright, I heard her
birds.
chewing on something.
And thus,
What were you chewing
they were
on,
once
young
again
lady?
birds of a feather flocking together.
Okay, my bad.
They
I'm
talked
sorry,
like old
Pumpkin.
friends, which they were.
I'm sorry, you're good.
They talked about their experiences in school, and Lilith told them how everyone in school shipped them.
Alright, so I thought my cat was crunching on some plastic, but my mom was crushing a plastic water bottle. Shush, I already said I'm sorry, okay? My bad. You didn't do it. It was meow me. End of discussion. Okay? She said no. Well, it's gonna have to be, okay, young lady? I'm really, truly sorry.
Finally came the awkward question. Can I come to your wedding? Asked Lilith. Sure. Kendra said, after processing the question. Lilith smiled. Great.
So that processing the question. Sometimes I take a minute or so to process someone's question because, like, I don't understand what they said at first, but then it registers and I'm able to answer it. Those 3 specific steps in that specific order.
She chuckled gratefully. Well, speaking of which, are you in a relationship? Asked Kendra unassumedly. Lilith's smile fell. No, I don't really have time for romance. I'm far too busy preparing to be the ruler of hell. Oh, I forgot about that. Well, that's fine. Not everyone has to follow the same path.
Queen.
My aunt never got married.
That's true too. You know, and I love a supportive queen, you know. We stand. But the sun intentionally upsets poor Lilith. Oh, frick frack, I frickin' clicked on the wrong frickin' thing. Okay, so, chapter 6. What was I made for? This is the moment in the story where the character has an existential crisis. Did I select all already? No, I did. Okay. We've got it now, Captain.
2 of them walked away. Lilith's depression set in. She started to walk out of the store when it started raining. She got through a hell.
Also, you know, that's another way to use it. Like, something sets into you, like guilt or depression or whatever.
To get back home. She went to her room and closed her door. She turned on her radio and What Was I Made For? By Billie Eilish started playing. She hated WIRNY, also known as Irony Radio. But it's all they had in hell. She hugged her pillow and assumed the fetal position. She started crying. She knew Kendra didn't mean to upset her with her question and was genuinely curious. She was always curious, that one. She used to be really good at science, and particularly interested in space travel. Lilith wondered if Kendra knew then. But then she vaguely remembered that Kendra mentioned that she knew from the time she was young. They exchanged phone numbers in the store while they were walking and talking. She almost wanted to text Kendra but second-guessed herself. She just cried in solitude. Her brother Horatio burst in her room. Sup, bitch, he said. Go away, she said. His face changed from joking to genuinely concerned. Are you okay? He asked. No. I know what I was made for, but I don't like it. I was made to rule them, that's it. I'm not made for romance, but I think I used to dream of romance. I think I might be a lesbian like my grandma. That's rough, bitch, he said, lighting a cigarette. He offered one to her, but
I was about to say, he's not calling her a bitch to be mean or whatever, just for the sake of being mean. That's how siblings tease each other, number 1. Number 2, it's kind of like in a loving way, or in a joking way, how you call your friends bitch. Like, sup, bitches, I have arrived, and so has the party with me, you know? That sort of vibe.
Views. Damn, you must be really bummed. You don't even want a ciggy? He asked.
Not sure why he says Siggy.
She said. That's what happens when people cry. She sighed. Why are you even here for? She asked. Dave and I wanted to invite you to a night of shenanigans on the town. It's Friday, he said.
Yeah, Dave is a bit of a Homestuck reference. Again, shoot me. You know, like, sue me, shoot me, do what you must. I don't care. You know? Mind your own business. Oh, wait, no, that won't work. Whatever. You know my sentiment, you know?
Dave was their other brother. God fucking damn it, Dave.
God fucking damn it, Dave. Sorry, I have to sing it.
Horatio chuckled. So is that a yes or no? No. I'll just stay home and...
Yeah, the reason he's confused as to what her answer is because she always has to make that joke. But I didn't clarify that, but I think it was pretty obvious, so I don't think I need to. I think I've clarified enough.
Under myself in self-pity. Horatio sighed. He was the most physically strong of the 2 brothers. Dave seemed...
Alright, so about the squander myself and self-pity, that's also a Night of the Living Museum reference. Specifically the second one where half of the toys, figurines or whatever, I got confused with Toy Story. But anyway, half of them are being transferred to the Smithsonian, and of course chaos ensues. On the way there or either when they get there. I don't know, it just ensues at some point.
of his father's brains and looks. They all shared the same father, but they technically had different mothers.
Technically.
Lucifer didn't need a womb with which to incubate his spawn. In fact, Lilith's grandmother was actually her mother. But she didn't know that, yet. All of that is yet to come.
Dun dun dun. Oh, that's it? Okay. So, yeah, I think that's it, because I told you I'm not reading part 7, so that's it. Hasta la bye-bye. That's all for now, folks. Bye!